not gonna lie, year 13 hit me really hard. Struggled a lot, I learned a lot. Maths paired really well with physics. It's your choice and your choice only. Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be discussing and talking about my A-level results. This will be a quick discussion on how many A-levels I took, what my grades were, and I'll be saying what I wish I'd done differently and how many A-level subjects I would recommend taking. This video will be structured with a conclusion straight after this to save you guys time so you can find out what I got quickly. Then I'll talk about my general choices and my EPQ choice and whether I would do it again, what I would change, and etc. I'll be talking about my A-level subjects and EPQ in a little bit more detail, and I'll give my recommendations on what I would suggest in more detail too. So as a conclusion, I received my results a few weeks ago, and I'm sorry this video will probably come out extremely late. It's because I've been really busy with uni and everything, as I have gotten into dental school now. I met the minimum grade requirements of my offer, which was AAA, and I got 2 A stars and 2 A's. I received an A star in physics and biology, and I got 2 A's in the other two, which were, what were they now? Which were in maths and chemistry. I also got an A in my EPQ, which I was extremely happy about. So I guess that makes 2 A stars, 3 A's, but who's counting? So to sum it all up, I do regret taking 4 A levels and an EPQ, as I think that I spread myself out too thinly, and I would definitely have rathered to focus on either 3 subjects or 3 subjects and an EPQ to put all my focus and to make sure I do really well in all of them. As I think taking 4 A levels and an EPQ was risky for me, as I was already struggling on some of the subjects. A better way of saying it might be that the work that I put into all 4 subjects and an EPQ would have been better spent to focus on all 3 subjects instead, which would have made my exam performance probably a lot better and made my Sixthform life a lot easier. I personally found the EPQ very challenging, and it probably wasn't for me. I found out by the end of it. It was very time consuming, and I came across so many challenges and problems that I had to overcome, and I had to use so much time to spend trying to perfect my EPQ instead of revising for my other subjects I was struggling in. Ultimately, it's up to you to decide what you want to take in A-levels, but I'd recommend doing a lot of research first, and maybe if you do decide to do an EPQ, then I'd recommend planning your time very wisely and allocating separate time slots every day to do a certain amount of your project. I'd recommend checking whether your course requires anything like 3 or 4 subjects, and also recommend seeing if adding an EPQ or 4th subject would greatly increase your uni application. Or if you really enjoy doing projects, these are the main reasons which I would mainly use to justify whether doing an EPQ or 4th A level is for you. Okay, now that the conclusion is over, let's go on to the content. I'll first be talking about why I chose maths, physics, biology and chemistry and an EPQ, and then I'll be going on to explain why I wouldn't necessarily choose all of these again. For my school, we had to choose 4 subjects at the beginning of year 12, and a lot of people normally drop one of them, and you can do an EPQ from mid-year 12 to mid-year 13. I chose all my A-level subjects because I was quite good at them at GCSE, as I received 9, 9, 9, 8 in all of them, and I actually enjoyed them a lot more than any other GCSE, so I didn't really have much of a choice, to be honest. I thought that I had the best chances of doing well in these subjects, which I was probably right in, but little did I know how hard it would become. By the end of year 12, everything was going fine. I did my UCAT exams and I got a predicted grades of 4 A stars, which I was very happy about. So my uni application was looking very strong, which is one of the main reasons why I decided to do 4 A levels. I was planning to drop one of my A levels in year 13 if it got too hard, but I decided against it, and I thought that I put in way too much effort to quit. And I was probably planning to drop physics, but I decided against it as I spent way too much time studying for it and focusing on it a lot. So I didn't want all my effort to go to waste. When I was choosing my choices, I originally chose biology because I enjoyed it, maths because I enjoyed it, physics because I enjoyed it, and chose chemistry because a lot of the universities require chemistry as an A-level choice and require that you get at least an A in it, so I kind of had no option but to take it, since I already knew I either wanted to pursue dentistry or medicine. So after I got my year 12 grades, I had an amazing year 12 summer, I went into year 13 during the pandemic. I'm not gonna lie, year 13 hit me really hard. It was really tough. Suddenly, chemistry and maths became near impossible for me, and also biology and physics ramped up in difficulty, although not as much. It's mainly because the year 13 content in the subjects that I chose were a lot harder than the year 12 content. So the year 12 was pretty much the basics of everything, but the year 13 was learning and understanding a lot of the harder topics. I decided to keep all my A-levels and keep doing an EPQ because I like the idea of having a backup plan for A-levels, and even if I didn't do very well in one of my A-levels, I at least had 3 left to fall back on, which I could still use to get into university. And I was also struggling on which subject to now drop, as I figured out that maths paired really well with physics, as they both complement each other extremely nicely. And I actually really enjoyed biology, but I couldn't drop chemistry because it is required. So now you see my problem. Thinking about it now, in hindsight, I probably should have dropped maths, as I was finding that the hardest now, but luckily all my hard work paid off in the end, and I managed to achieve what I think are great results, and I'm more than happy with my performance. Although if I were to do it again, I would have dropped one of my subjects and would have not taken my EPQ. Now we will go into more description about why I wouldn't have taken an EPQ. I decided to do an EPQ, which, if you don't know, is an extended project qualification because of my uni application. I applied for dentistry, which is very competitive, like medicine and other popular university courses. So I wanted something to separate myself from the crowd, become more unique, and I wanted something that the interviewers could ask me on during the interviews, so I could show off my dental knowledge and more knowledge outside of just my A-level subjects. If you do decide to do an EPQ, I strongly recommend doing it on a topic which you really enjoy. I did mine on a dental topic, something to do with water. I'm not 100% sure if I'm allowed to share this, but I think I am, and I hope I am, because I don't want to run into any plagiarism or cheating things in the future, but I can make separate videos on an EPQ and my recommendations as well. So I would have decided against it, as I personally didn't have enough reason or want for me to do an EPQ, as I found it quite hard, struggled a lot, I learned a lot, but I also really didn't enjoy it as much as I think I should have if I really wanted to do a project. Another point I want to add is I could have spent all this time doing an EPQ, which was hundreds of hours. I could have used this time revising subjects which I was really struggling on and which I really needed to use to get into university. Although I could have done a lot better on it, I learned so many good lessons about organisation, time management, that I can definitely implement in my future projects that I decide to do, as I now have at least some experience in doing long-term projects with a big essay. Now, I don't want my experiences to influence any of you watching this in any way, shape or form, as my experiences will probably 100% be different to your experiences. So I'd recommend, if you're struggling on what to choose, talk to teachers, do research online, look at universities, ask friends, family what they suggest, and maybe decide upon that. I don't want anyone to listen to my advice and take it 100% to heart in case they want to do an EPQ, but are put off by listening to my experiences. At the end of the day, remember, it's your choice and your choice only that has any effect on what you decide to do. So just take a bit of time when you're thinking of making big decisions like these, and if you don't enjoy it, you have so many opportunities to drop it, or you may find that you really enjoy it and want to carry it on. Don't just go off the things that other students like myself say, as you may really enjoy the things that we don't, and I think that's the big message of this video, apart from my A-level grades, of course. You shouldn't really take any of these experiences to heart, as your experiences will be different, and hopefully you find enjoyment in the things you choose to do. I think that wraps up everything in this video. I'll probably be making separate videos on how I revised for all these subjects in the future, and how I did my EPQ, and probably a bit more in depth about everything I've talked about, but I wanted this video to mainly summarize what I got for my A-levels as a little update for everyone, and a thank you for reaching so much growth so quickly. So if you learned something or found anything useful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel, as this really helps me and makes me more motivated to make these videos for you guys. Hopefully I'll see you in another video, but even if I don't, I'm wishing everyone who sees this the best of luck in everything and anything you choose to do in the future. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.